Welcome back to Daredevil Born Again, Season 2, Episode 2, Shoot the Moon. Okay. Anyways, um, you know what happened in the first episode. I don't want to recap, but I do want to talk about something I forgot to talk about because I was dealing with technical issues and I forgot. Um, okay, so in the ship scene, he was just kind of going ham, right, Matt? Breaking bones and I felt like he left those guys to die. And so it's a weird, not cultural thing. It's a complicated thing of they're evil people, right? We're supposed to infer that these guys, these guards are working under Fisk. They're part of his task force. So, and we've explicitly stated at this point with the Greek people, the restaurant woman, she calls them fascists. So we're supposed to believe that they're not good people, right? Which is fine. That's one thing. But just it's a complex dilemma of how far do you have your heroes go? Bodily harm / leaving them to die. It's a question with Batman that a lot of people have that sort of back and forth over. Same thing with Daredevil. And I've seen both sides of the argument here on Twitter. There was one who's basically the one post was basically saying, and in the original Netflix show, there is this dilemma, this moral dilemma for Matt of yes, he beats people and there's a part of him that likes it. It's that Catholicism. And it's the show basically frames his violence as a moral dilemma in his own head and a question mark. And it's he enjoys it, but he doesn't want to, but they're bad people. So is it morally wrong to be beating them up and doing like that? And or even the second season with Punisher, the whole the butting heads about it, and with Elektra also, is that what makes Daredevil better than Punisher? Their methods are different, but they have the same goal of getting these people off the streets. So Punisher, the famous rooftop scene. Why can't I speak right now? But the debate about you hit them and they come back, I put them down and they don't come back, and so there's that distinct line between the two. And then I've seen the other side of that argument where people said, yeah, but Matt is Catholic, he's Catholic, and he's a hypocrite, his whole violence and his desire to want to do good and stuff is inherently supposed to be a paradox of yes, he goes too far, but he still doesn't kill, and he keeps saying he doesn't want to do that, but he does. So there is a part of him that it's basically playing up the fact that yes, it is part of his character to be going that far. I'm more on the side of the first argument where there should be a line, and so I didn't talk about it in the episode. I think I might have put it in the little subtitles because I thought about it while editing, but the show, that first scene at least, versus the people on the ship, it's very much the show is telling us, hey, Matt just left those people to die. He broke their bodies, a lot of blood and gore, and then the ship is sinking. We don't have any indication that he tries to save them. Not that I'm saying that there was something he could do, because at that point he could barely keep himself alive, right? That's one thing. But it was it's a weird framing thing, and part of the problem that I'm having with this revival series is that, again, the show is sort of losing the core of who the characters are to an extent, and I'm glad I'm not the only one who's kind of seeing those things, because like I said, I was looking at some people's thoughts on Twitter, and they're kind of having a similar opinion about the maturity, basically the maturity level is not conducive to what the characters are trying to be. Their Disney version is basically saying, yeah, we can show blood and violence and swearing, but it's not for the right reasons. And that's kind of what my fault was with it also. Anyways, I don't want to spend too long on it, and I did. But that was one point that I really wanted to bring up and sort of expound upon a little bit, because it bugs me. It bugs me that this is not the same Daredevil. I've seen also some other comments about how a lot of the exposition of how the characters got to the point where they are at the first episode here is kind of glossed over. The show don't tell. It is very missing. You know, all of a sudden, okay, bam, Kara and Matt are together. Bam, Daredevil has that new suit, and we don't really have an explanation for why. It's just a lot. It feels like we skipped over some stuff. That was my other big gripe. Anyways, let's get into the episode and see what happens. Bringing her back into this. I know that man.
Maggie, yes, she's on a sabbatical year.
I'm glad they addressed it.
Administer the sacrament of penance, but
Why do you have a knife, sir?
I'm not too picky.
Don't kill this man.
I like you at all. I thought
Sir,
you were tougher than that.
know your place. Like, he's gonna knock your block off. silly writing choice, in my opinion. But we're moving on.
Which tells me that
These subtitles do not match up with the book. They're like summarizing what he's saying.
How about both?
It's crazy how topical this season is.
Murdoch are one and the same.
No.
He's like, that's the one thing I can't do. He's gonna go crazy.
A hero.
What?
He risked his life to save mine. Helped find Matt Murdoch. Let's bring this hero home.
This is so. Oh my gosh.
Good advice. Appreciate that, Papa. Just try and take it once in a while.
Sir.
Fuck me.
Sir. What's going on? He's one of you. What happened?
You gotta heal.
This is as good as it's gonna get from you, man. Some get back, brother.
Why don't they want him on?
Not in that asshole lawyer's place.
Okay. What was that scene about? I don't understand. Am I forgetting something? Why don't they want him on? Like, there was hesitation from Powell.
I was just visiting an old friend.
Nice vests. You gonna start wearing your underwear on the outside too?
Oh, okay. The cops are on our side. Good. I forgot.
We'll be here. You bringing the pizza, or should we still have Roxanne do it?
You kidding? No.
What the hell?
Means a lot. Hey, but don't sweat it. How?
What are you doing here? Okay. What is Bullseye planning?
Copy that, sir. I already sent over 4 more units.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Do you remember when I told you if you ever betray me, it'll be the last thing you ever did? Yeah. Is there anyone in this building that you feel the need to protect?
Yeah. You.
Good answer.
I wouldn't call this a need. More like a well thought out.
I get what you're saying, but also, like, you just gotta take that gun from you. Like, just, I don't know what what is he planning? Just murder spree?
Then why would you take such a risk?
More good than just New York.
You have built an empire without an heir.
It's interesting that she's basically saying, you know, you're kind of making this. I'll explain it later. I don't know. It sounds like Fisk is like, you know, when you grow complacent, you grow, you know, you've hit the peak, basically. You kind of become lazy, and like Fisk wants to get more, and, you know, his ambition might be the end of him. You know, he had it all, is what Vanessa is saying. And now because you want more, this thing might be coming crumbling down. Okay, really?
Shut up with your Three Musketeers from Dollar Tree ass.
Hey, put that back. Macho jodiendo en la calle.
Miss, mind your business.
Oh my God, can you just put that back?
Ah!
Limpien eso.
Oh, Jesus. What the hell's happening right now? Did you just touch me?
That's assaulting an officer. Give him a move.
God. Jeez. And you're taking him too? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. They didn't, I mean, not that I want them to, but like they didn't take any of the kids that they were in there for in the first place, or like that dude they punt, you know, the shop owner. What is happening? This is crazy. It doesn't make sense, but like it's it's real. Why are you in front of a window? Why are you in front of a window? He's literally here. Why are you in front of a window? Vanessa. Who is it? Oh my god. Why do I... All these scenes have me so stressed out right now. Thank you. Good. I don't think it's going to do much, but good. She has her head on her. Oh, okay.
And that's it, isn't it? Angela.
Girl. I guess they mentioned that the amulet or whatever gives them some special powers, right? It's not just them suiting up. It's actually like something mystical about it. So I'm more okay with her taking that mantle on. But it is still like, you're a girl, like you're just a teenager. What are we doing? Wait, is that Fisk? He's gonna be part of a boxing match? Is that what? I'm scared.
Bunch of other shit.
Because he got a come to Jesus moment with Fisk, so like, is he gonna know something? Or he's gonna try something with BB? You know?
Because we got some things to figure out.
Okay. God, here we go. I'm so scared. This episode's actually like back-to-back crazy scenes. Oh. Don't.
He could get hurt.
You're scared of him, aren't you?
He was a good man. We didn't always see eye to eye.
Life is good. I don't know, like, integrity can cost. Sometimes it's better not to know.
Ooh, I like that parallel. Oh my god. What is happening now? Oh, okay.
What's going on?
In plain sight as random people I just don't like. Don't worry. All these people are safe. With all
Bodega guy. Oh my god, this is crazy. Okay, I know it's you, BB. Just how short you are. Like, I know it's you. We all know it's you. Yep. Did he... Bullseye? Did he really? God, she's just dreaming.
New York is our home.
You are my home.
Anywhere with you. Do you really think that we could live, thrive, outside of all this?
What? Stay low and you go up? Like, what are we doing? Oh god. Karen. How did they... Oh. Matt, what's going on? I love that little smirk he does when he's like, I'm not gonna shoot you.
I have something to show you.
Why, you kidnapped one of them? They kind of lost me a little bit. Like, okay, so a little bit of preamble here. It is the the morning after these episodes dropped. So I tried to avoid as much spoilers as I could. I was stupid and forgot that one of the people I follow on Twitter watches this kind of stuff. So the only real spoiler that I've gotten so far, I was scrolling, is that this is obviously a double drop. So this second episode, or last season we got a double drop because I don't know why, but like the theory was, okay, it's double drop because one of the episodes kind of sucks. But like I said, the only spoiler that possibly I could have gotten was that apparently these episodes are actually really good, both these episodes. So after episode 1, I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm good. I will say at the beginning and the end of the episode, I didn't really care for, it took me a little bit to get into it. And then the ending here, like the fight scene, fine, whatever. The Matt Karen shipping, like I need that to break up. that will help me out immensely from a personal standpoint. Like, from a writing standpoint, I'm going to leave it alone. I personally think it's lazy, but like, whatever. It is what it is. This is the plot device they're going with, so fine. Personally, I'm more just upset with it because I just don't think they should be together. Like, I think everything could still work out mostly the same if they just weren't dating. If they just took that plot point out of the show, I'd be fine. But because they are like hammering home the point, the parallel between Fisk and Vanessa and then Matt and Karen, it's like, okay, obviously we're trying to say something here, but I just don't like that. But anyways, what I really didn't like at the end there, well, Karen getting the better of this dude. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing of like this task force is so inept, but also so, they're doing stuff. It's like, how did Karen, anyways, we'll leave it alone. What do I actually want to talk about today? Bullseye. I really like that beginning scene where he's at the church. I like the little throwaway line. That's another thing I've seen while scrolling. Is like, where the fuck is Sister Maggie? So I'm glad they at least addressed it. They wrote a line about how she's not here in the city. Fine, I'll take it. I don't know if it's just I got used to the episode, or like halfway through it just like felt like a different show for like a good half of the episode. Like, as soon as I'm scrolling over the episode here, it was basically as soon as like the bodega scene happened, like that scene began this separate episode for me. It was like, okay, I'm in it. I'm like feeling it. It is tense. The bodega scene to the the book signing thing, whatever event was going on with Fisk and with Vanessa and Heather. And then Angela goes to find Kirsten, and then we have this dinner thing with BB, and I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. Like, he has been in this show since the beginning. I can't not remember his character's name. But the dinner date, and then that paralleling with I can't remember her name either. But Fisk's like media person. I loved all of that. Even like the Josie thing, whatever. That was okay. But like, yeah, that whole tangent section was like really good. I was gripped. And then it kind of lost me again at the end. But let's talk about some actual substance here. I like that Vanessa is kind of haunted by Dex, and I was kind of right. I talked about mid-episode about how in her mind she's kind of like, we have enough. We can be done with this. Even though she's like cool with what he's doing, obviously from season 3 of Daredevil, like we know she's cool with what he's doing. Okay. But she's kind of like trying to be the voice of reason. Like, okay, we have enough. We have the city. We were fine. We were comfortable. And now you keep trying to do more. And she's not like antagonistically saying that, she's not like trying to fight him on it, but she just keeps mentioning like, what will we have when we're gone? And is it worth everything? We could go to this island. So I really like that. Her pushing. Obviously, it's coming from a place of fear in a way because of Bullseye. She's traumatized by him and stuff, I do think it's a funny through point of the episode. It's like, he's after you, and then you keep putting yourself in situations like where he's looking at you. Like, there's a window. He's a sniper. What are you doing? At least get inside more. But anyways, yeah, so like obviously her point is more of a place of fear and all that stuff. But I do appreciate the fact that she is kind of, I don't want to say being a voice of reason, but she is offering a different perspective of like, I'm good. Like, as long as I have you, we can go. And that, that was her I don't want to say her point, but at the end of season 3, you know, that was kind of when they were trying to elope and stuff. At the end of the day, that's really all it was, is like, yes, she's in it to win it. She's in it for the crime and stuff. When we've seen her thrive, or we've been told she's thriving without him at the start of Born Again. But I just do appreciate that it is a different perspective for her. Like, she's not really pulling and fighting and kicking him, but she is kind of just putting that in his ear, like, let's just go somewhere, you know, let's be done with this all. One thing I will say is that I do like that parallel at the end between Vanessa and Fisk and Matt and Karen, because we're obviously, you know, that's where she is pretty much saying, like, we could leave, we could just be done with this. And we're, at least in my head, the reason they're paralleling it is because Karen is kind of bringing up that same thing of, like, you know, what are we doing here? You know, how did we end up in this situation? Yeah, everything I don't know. To me, they're obviously paralleling because they done it earlier in the episode with the dinner date thing and Fisk's PR manager. They're obviously including that parallel scene played to say something. So I think I like that. I wish it wasn't both of those things weren't in this episode, because then it's kind of beating the cinematic device. Going back to that BB dinner date though, I really like what they're saying about how you gotta, or what, again, his character, he's saying, you know, sometimes you just gotta put your head down, and like, integrity costs you stuff. So, you know, I like the message that, yeah, she did have integrity to start with, and she was kind of continually saying, you know, you can't do it this way, you can't do it this way, and now she's kind of just falling in line, his PR lady. And she, you know, whenever he says, or whenever he shows up and she's like thinking about doing the right thing, she's like, you know what, it's not worth my life, it's not worth it to dig deeper. It's cool that it's informing her character. I believe she's in the Spider-Man trailer, so like we kind of expect her to make it out of this alive, but it's fascinating character, because yeah, they're, you know, not this whole episode, but I think the show is kind of trying to bring home the point of, like, resistance, you know, everyone wants to be a hero, you know, the cost of that though. So I like that we have characters varying on that spectrum. We have BB, who is fighting back in her own way. A pretty obvious twist that she was the, you know, the anti-Fisk propaganda, whatever. I do like that we got the reveal earlier on though, and then her little dinner date with the dude. I'm interested to see where their relationship goes from here. You know, she's pretty adamantly saying no. Denying it to his face, but also like, I'm gonna double down now. So I like that, but I am scared for her. I talked about in the episode about Angela getting the white tiger costume or whatever. I believe, I can't remember if I've seen her in a suit, like behind the scenes or whatever. But again, I think they did make a mention that, like, basically the white tiger is mystical based, so there is some level of of being enhanced. Because if it was just like, hey, I know how to fight or whatever, I'm gonna go out there. Not today. So I'm okay with it as long as there is some sort of, like, yes, putting the amulet on will make you stronger. I'm kind of going backwards through the episode. It's just funny. But yeah, just that bodega scene, because they're like, I like that they all kind of knew each other, and they all said, like, you know, we are a community, we all know each other. Yes, there was some tension between them, but it was like, this is just us, like, you know, this is how we do things in this neighborhood. And then the bodega owner, like, escalating with the guns, and it's like, okay, we can take a step back, you know, obviously tensions are high in general, but like, we can solve this in-house, we don't have to do it like this. But then, you know, his perspective, the bodega owner, is like, because of all the shit going on outside, now I gotta escalate inside. I really loved that ramping up of, like, one thing to another, and then I was kind of getting a little emotional. I don't personally have any stake in the game, I will say that, you know, like, thankfully nothing personal has happened like that, but just, you know, I don't know how obvious it is, but I do have something on my wall here. When I moved in, this wall of paint like this. Anyways, you know, I do live in Minnesota, so like, the news kind of does affect me a little bit. Thankfully, I'm not in that. You know, I'm not in the cities or anything. so I haven't, again, personally been affected by it, but you know, just the stuff that happened, you know, a few months ago at the turn of the new year. It's crazy how much the show is able to parallel real life. I'll just say that, you know, current events are being reflected here in the show, and so that's kind of what got me a little bit, was like, yes, it's unrealistic and like how crazy this show is depicting escalation, and you know, just I was kind of laughing during BB's fake Fisk propaganda, because it's like it really is so stupid, like what is happening, you know? Because like Bodega Guy, you know, the enemies of the state, Bodega Guy, this teacher, you know, you have to laugh because of the absurdity, but also just like a coping, you know. So as much as I like dislike the show sometimes from a more like a cinematography and, you know, just kind of like that kind of aspect, how much it tackles current events is really fascinating, because again, the turnaround, for one thing, this was all done in a year, but also just how it's able to, yeah, just, you know, seeing art depict something that is happening in real time. This is just a random note as I'm scrubbing over the footage. Powell is so unlikable, and obviously he's a villain, so like we're supposed to not like him, but just, I don't know, something I feel like the way that the actor is portraying the character has like gotten more stereotypical, more like, I'm the gruff man cop guy. I don't know, it just feels like they're hamming it up even more, that it's like, okay, this is now just becoming farcical. You know, season 1 version of him, it's really similar, but for whatever reason, this episode, just every time he talked, I'm like, okay, he's like he's turning it up to 11. And I don't know why. One thing I am questioning, when Cole North was like there, I keep wanting to call it the White House, but you know, the office, he's like, I want back in, I'm good now, I'm healed. I don't get why they were so hesitant. Powell was like, okay buddy, yeah sure, you're healed, you know, like why was he against Cole joining back up? Because Cole has been diehard. He was the one who killed White Tiger. We got that revealed. So like the original. So, you know, he's in it to win it. So I don't know why the show was kind of framing it as like, I can't trust you, or you know, I'm gonna have to put you down. It was some tension between those two characters, and I don't understand why, because they're supposed to be on the same side. So I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that they kind of danced around like he's the sole survivor of the attack at the end of the season, you know, on Matt's house, his apartment or whatever, and Frank shows up. So like maybe they're thinking, okay, well, if he's the only one of the task force who lived, then he was a part of it, you know, like a setup kind of thing. But they didn't really explicitly say that. So that's why I'm confused about what's going on with what they're trying to tell us. Okay, I still have to watch 4 more episodes, so I'm gonna try and stop talking now. But yeah, I'm actually into it. I don't know what happened, but like this episode, I was like, okay, I'm ready. Thanks for watching. Leave thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode. I'm very excited. Woo. All right.